been to some fireplaces. It's hard to carry on when you feel all alone. Now I've swung back down again. It's worse than it was before. If I hadn't seen such riches, I could live with being poor. Oh, sit down, oh, sit down, oh, sit down. Sit down next to me. Sit down, 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 down. Sympathy.
Evening, everyone, evening. I still say, don't care. That is the best intro on YouTube. Don't care. Connor, mate, you've been very, very poorly. How are you, mate? How you struggling along?
10 times better than what I was. I've disappeared for a bit from streams for the past week or so because I've been very unwell, but I'm all good now and I'm back and I'm ready to do this show with yourself and TJ. I'm looking forward to it, Jez. And thank you very much for having me on, man.
Right, I'm just trying to rearrange this screen because I have got TJ nowhere. So I might have to keep flicking backwards and forwards to sharing the screen. TJ, how you doing, mate?
I'm good, Jez. They don't need to see my mug. They see me every week. These legends in the chat, they come over. They come and watch us on the American Idiot Show. They come and watch your channel. They know what I look like. Come on, and who they know what my voice sounds like too. So it's all good. I'm great, Jez. I'm getting used to a new job right now. So if it looks like I'm sweating it a little bit, I am. But I've been looking forward to this show most of the weekend and both days this week. So let's get into it. Thanks for having me on.
It's always a pleasure, mate. And your channel is smashing it. Great. Loving it. It's good stuff. People go and watch that show. TJ, his stuff on a Friday night, 9:00. Is brilliant. I love it. Absolutely love it. It's class. Danny, mate, thank you very much already for your super sticker, buddy. Thank you very much. Right, let's have a little look at this. And I'm just going to have to share this screen, so I do apologise. There we go. And hang on one second to get back to where have you gone? Where have you gone? Where have you gone? You've disappeared. Oh, Christ, this is streaming up. There we go. Hang on. We'll get back into this now. There we go.
There we go.
All right, let's talk about these players. Let's talk about some of these players. Kyle Hine. Didn't see him play myself, so don't think we'll bother with him.
Played one game this season, Jez, and that was in the Carabao Cup against Brighton where we got smashed. 3-1, 3-0, 3-1.
Yeah, so we won't bother with that. James Hilson.
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him at all.
A reserve player. Aaron Ramsdale. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give you my mark, my personal mark, and I'm going to ask Connor, then I'm going to ask TJ. Okay. I think he's been solid. A couple of games wobbly. So I'm going to give him my score of 8.5 out of 10. Connor, how do you see him? How do you see him, mate?
Yeah, very solid. He's actually been a goalkeeper for a while. I've been very happy throughout the season. He's been very solid, made some crucial saves. There's been moments in games where he has been, in my opinion, unstoppable. People have found it very hard to get the ball past the net with him. He has had his moments this season, so he's definitely going to get a straight 10 out of 10. But come towards the end of the season, he was a bit shaky. There were some moments, but majority of the season, he was absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to go ahead and give him an 8, in my opinion.
Okay, fair play. TJ, Aaron Ramsdale. I think he's been done decent, mate. Give me your opinion on him.
I'm going to go with Connor and Darren and give him an 8. I think he had some shaky moments that cost us or, could have changed the outcome of certain games or set the tone of certain games, namely that Southampton draw at home comes to mind. But other than that, he's been very, very solid. He's England's number 1 or number 2, and I will give him an 8.
Okay, fair enough. I gave him an 8.5, but that's fair play. Great comment there. And Matt Turner. Haven't seen a great amount of him, to be fair. But what I saw pre-season wasn't too pretty. And Connor, what's your view on this guy? Should we keep him?
Yeah, I mean, well, TJ probably knows more about him than we do because he's obviously the American first team goalkeeper. Yeah, I mean, he obviously had the odd Europa League appearance. Can't really recall him being that bad. When we last had our secondary goalkeeper, it was that was bad. It was Runnison, and I'll never forget the City game where he had a bit of a what's his name, Karius moment, and he wasn't great. But Matt Turner, bog standard in my opinion, hasn't done anything wrong. I'll happily have him as our secondary next season, and I'll give him a standard 5.5. I'll give him 5.5.
Yeah, I'd give him. I mean, personally, I'd give him a 5. He didn't really see too much for him, so I'm not sure. TJ, you know more about this player than we do. I personally thought it's one of the Kroenke deals again that we bring him into Arsenal, but your rundown on him?
Well, he came over from New England Revolution in the MLS, that's a non-Kroenke squad. So I wouldn't necessarily say that he's a Kroenke signing. What I would say is that he is probably not the levels to play in the Champions League, and we need our backup goalkeeper while we're in the Champions League, while we're playing FA Cup, while we're playing Carabao Cup, to start some Premier League games, especially if we go deep in the Champions League. So I want to keep him. I want to see what he can do in the league, especially maybe against those mid to lower table teams where there isn't going to be as much pressure. I'll give him a 6.5. Maybe the 0.5 comes from the fact that he's American and I'm American, and I got to stick together just a little bit on that. Sorry, it's the way it is. I don't think he necessarily did too much wrong. You can maybe look at some of those chances that Sporting had against us in the draw and in the loss where he could have done better. But 6.5 for me.
Yeah, okay. I'll go with it. I mean, it'd be interesting to see if he gets more game time next year, because Champions League.
Do we honestly think we're going to bring in another goalkeeper in the transfer window? I don't think so.
No.
And you do see City, they rotate. That Ortega fella, he got a good couple games this season.
Ortega's good.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid. But then again, why not give Turner a shot? If Arteta's got to start trusting his players more, and let's be real, Ramsdale was going to have a heck of a lot to do next season. There's going to be moments where we might have to switch him. So he's got to have trust in his secondary goalkeeper. So hopefully we see more. I'd like to see more of Matt Turner in the odd cup game, personally. Not as a reoccurring starting 11, obviously not starting 11 goalkeeper, but more of what we've seen this season, definitely.
He had a great World Cup too, by the way. So he can handle big games. I mean, he shut out England. So just saying.
Fair play. Gabriel, I thought he's had a great season. I think he had a great season. He's improved. He hasn't been doing stupidity this year like he had been. So he's obviously learnt. And I'm going to give him an 8 overall, because I think he's had a decent season. No stupidity, really. I mean, all right, a couple of mistakes, but every makes mistakes. So I'm not gonna wipe his ass for that. So Connor.
Yeah, this has definitely been his best season for Arsenal. And the partnership between him and Saliba was like a brick wall, majority of the time anyway. It is that is our two mainline defence, if that's what we want to be starting with for next season, if that's what we have. He's been fantastic. And I completely agree with you, Jez. He has his moments, but what defender doesn't? But when I see Gabriel on the pitch, I'm happy, and that's all I want to be as an Arsenal fan. If I see someone on the pitch that I know strong could do well, that for me, that's one of them's Gabriel. And I'm going to go with an 8.5 because I've been really happy with him this season.
Yeah, fair play. Fair play, mate. TJ, Gabriel, how do you see him, mate?
8.5. Again, me and Darren's just take whatever Darren says in the chat and just say what I'm going to say here, because he took the words right out of my mouth. I'm going to give him an 8.5. The only reason he isn't a 9 is because he kind of fell off. He fell off without Saliba. Gabriel and Saliba could be the best center back pairing in the Premier League if they have a chance to develop together. I also think that Gabriel is possible captain material, just like Darren said in the chat. He gets out there, he yells at people, he gets in people's faces when they screw up. Him and Ramsdale both do that. There was a lot of really, really good communication at the beginning of the season that kind of fell off at the end. You can call that due to injuries, due to what have you. But I say that Gabriel is the correct center back to have at Arsenal. He's not afraid to tell people what for, and he's not afraid to lay it down for the badge. So I give him 8.5 possible captain material.
I personally would have liked to have seen Tierney captain, but that's another story. It's for another day. Okay, let's move on. Rob Holding. Well. Rob Holding. When he was called on in 2 games, he put in a shift. 3 other games, he was absolutely bloody pony. Not good enough for this club. I'm sorry. We bought him from Bolton. He needs to go back to Bolton because that's his level. He's just not the grade, man. And Connor, how do you see it, mate?
Yeah, Jez, completely agree with you, mate. 2 all right games when he came in, sort of held his own at Liverpool. We were very pleased with him in that performance. But yeah, then I wouldn't. He scored a goal against City. That's probably the only plus I'd take from this season, even though it got us nowhere. He's got to go. We need a centre back coming in this summer to fill in for Gabriel and Saliba, or even maybe start above him. We've got to be bringing in better players in every position if we can. That's the only reason the only way this team can get better. And he's got to be on the chopping block this summer. Nice guy. One thing I remember from him is probably the FA Cup final where he went toe-to-toe with Diego Costa. I found that quite funny at the time. Time to go, mate. He's part of the Wenger regime, and he's got to go. So, see ya. And do you know what? Actually, I think him and El Neni, because Xhaka's leaving, him and El Neni the last 2 of the Wenger regime. So, yeah. See you later, Holden, mate. And I'll give him I won't be too harsh. I'll give him a 4 because he hasn't played much football this season. I'll give him a 4.
Fair play. TJ, Rob Holding. Time to go. What's
3. Get him out. Get him out now. Get him out now. He does not have the mentality. He does not have the skill set. He does not have the minerals, as my friend Minerals FC would say, to be on this club. Okay. The guy, here's where he was dead before to me, but here's where it completely went down. When he had that nice strike against Man City to reduce the lead to 3-1 in the 85th minute. And he's trotting back to the center line, smiling and winking and doing the little gun thing when we're still down 2-1 or 3-1, soon to be 4-1 after Haaland goes in and scores. That's not the levels, man. That's not the levels. What do you think Tony Adams would have done to Holding if he had scored that goal and he was smiling, running back to the center circle?
I think
if that's the standard, yeah. If that's the standard we're going by, guys, then Rob Holding should have been tossed out with the bathwater. So 3, get him out.
Yeah, well, to me, that's a decent score. But Emerson says holding 6. Fair play. It's your view.
Is it?
I don't know. No disrespect, mate. I don't know who you were watching, but yeah, can't see it myself. But let's move on. Jacob Kiwior. Now, I think I'm not going to be harsh on this guy because he only came in January. He hasn't had that many match games. And the one game he did play in full, I thought he looked quite decent. Now, the only interesting point, Connor, as I come to you and to you, TJ, I think it showed at the Wolves game what Arteta has a plan. It's clear to me, it's very clear to me, he doesn't want Kieran Tierney. And the fact he slotted Kiwior in at left back is where he's looking to play him.
Yeah.
Now that, to me, is a scary, scary prospect. I mean, I could be totally wrong, talking totally out of my arse. But he did that for a reason. It was experimentation, wasn't it? We're up against Wolves, last game of the season. Nothing gained, doesn't mean a damn thing. Wolves couldn't be asked. They're on the beach. So it was a fact of, oh, well, that's sticking there. But maybe Arteta, with his absolutely diverse and unbelievably crazy tactics, thought, let's do this. Maybe this will work for next year. What do you think, mate? Connor, what do you think?
Yeah. The way I looked at the Nottingham Forest and the Wolves game, you know, he was playing like a three at the back, and honestly, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking that Arteta's been watching Pep this season. He's like, I want to do what he's been doing, you know, three at the back, slotting 2 DMs in the middle, and then going way more attacking up front. That's gonna have to be more looked into in pre-season, in my opinion. All that. I hope he doesn't play him at left back, because from what I know, Kiwior's never played there in his whole career. So God knows what Arteta's got going on in his mind. But on Kiwior, when he arrived, I didn't have a clue. Didn't know who he was. 25 million, I think we got him for. Hefty fee, in my opinion, for someone I've never even heard of. But he came in. He came with Rob Holding, in my opinion, the better option in the long shot from what we saw. I'll happily keep him next season just to see what he can become into, because I think for the first couple of games he had, he was all right, especially for being in the Premier League. So yeah, I'm not going to be too harsh on him. I'm going to give him a standard 5. You know, he hasn't had many games, but in the games he has, he's done all right, apart from that one where he bent over to do his shoelace. So I'll give him a standard 5.
Yeah, I think that's a fair score. That's what I'm thinking along. TJ, Jacob Kiwior. I think he's one. I'll put it out there. I think he's one for the future. We don't know enough. I don't think any of us can actually say we've seen enough or know enough about him. So I think it's only fair to say, okay, let's give him a go. Let's see what we can do. He did play, a couple of good, a game and a half in full. I think I'm right in saying he played. I think he did all right.
Yeah, 5. I think that I judged him a little too harshly after that, after he ducked out of the way against Sporting. I think it took him a minute to get his legs underneath him. When you come into the level of football that England has, it's definitely that touch higher than the Italian league we dragged him out of. So I think that he got his sea legs, and once he did, he was pretty solid. So standard 5. Let's see what he can do next season.
Yeah, I'd go with it. Darren is shooting from the hip today. Kiwior 4, not enough. Looks every inch a coward, not happy out. Well, fair play, mate. Hendon Guna says Kiwior 4, another Again, another prospect brought
Yeah,
out
agree.
a long time.
It's not a bad. That's not a bad shout though.
Agree.
That's true.
We brought him in January. You know, we're going to get into some of these towards the ends of what's going down. But just do a few more of the chat. The Southern Goon and Matt, hey mate, how you doing? And Kiwior, Carl says Kiwior going down to all a free head in on goal. 2 not good enough for defender. Yeah, I mean he did bottle that. Let's get it right. Anthony says Kiwior best game was against Newcastle for me. I'll give him a 5.5. Need to see more of him. I think we will for sure. I'm convinced that Kieran Tierney's gone. He's out. He's down the road. If he is going to go, I just hope Arsenal get a decent fee for him because he's worth serious money, that fella. And I just hope we don't throw him under the bus like we normally do. But sadly, you know, that's Arsenal bloody football club. I mean, I watched a show earlier today. Can't remember. When we were talk about transfer fees that Arsenal have done, get rid of players, absolutely shockingly disgraceful. And that's the Arsenal way. Yeah, I mean, we have to step up, people. Seriously. Right, let's move on. William Saliba. Class. Absolute class. Sadly got injured. I'll give him a 9 because I tell you what, he made such a big difference to our central defence. It was such a shame he got injured after he came back from the World Cup. And it made a difference. Was that a turning factor? His injury in way we capitulated towards the ends. I would say there was a point in that.
Yeah,
I would say that because him and Gabriel and Ben White, to be fair Ben White, they seemed to have got a working relationship, bit like back in the day, you know, Tony Adams, Steve Bold, David O'Leary, type, Sammy Nelson, you know, they had a relationship, communication, and then we lost him, and that was a great show. Connor, I've given him a 9. That's my score, 9. Give me your opinion, mate.
I'm going to give him a 9 as well because you just look at the stats. I mean, I think they kept showing it on Sky Sports. The games where he was missing, compared to when he was in the team, was chalk and cheese. It was a completely different side, and the fact that man's only 21, he's that young, and he made such a difference to our team. And I completely agree with you, Jez. Him and Gabriel, such a good partnership together. All you need is one more world-class centre-back added onto that, and you've got a perfect defence in centre-backs. You've got perfect. And signing him down to a contract is all we need to do. Literally, you're happily giving Saka 200 and whatever it was, 70, 300k. But there's reports coming out that Saliba apparently hasn't been given the right amount, in his opinion. Throw anything at him. He is clearly one of our most important players. I'd happily give him 250 grand, 200 grand. He's worth it. He is honestly worth it. And in my opinion, this season, completely agree with Carl Rossi, was a big up yours to Arteta for sending me out on loan for 3 years. Maybe the first year, but the fact that he was...
Guys, I need to step away for a minute. I'll be right back.
No worries. The fact that he had to go out on loan for 2 seasons, in my opinion, should have been in the squad. He was fantastic this season. And again, it was such a shame that he got injured. And I completely agree with you, Jez. I think that was one of the reasons. There was many, but it was one of the reasons why the team turned around and in terms of the worse. But yeah, 9. What a player. And I swear to God, I don't care about any other contracts. Reiss Nelson, Ødegaard, I don't care. Saliba's got to be tied down ASAP. He is so important for our team. So important.
Absolutely. Totally agree, mate. Totally agree. The fact is that I think we're going to have a problem, Connor, keeping him, personally.
Yeah.
Because of the way he's been. I honestly say he has, as a young man, there's all these rumours, things about he had to go back. His mother was ill, this, that, and the other. And I think he got disrespected by Arsenal. And that, to me, shows the pure arrogance and hatred that I have for Mikel Arteta. Yeah. He's a young man. We bring him in, and then we actually just treat him with pure abuse. In the fact we disrespect the guy, he then comes back after a great loan period, and everybody bigs it up, and now we could possibly lose him to PSG. They're sniffing around for like 70 million.
Mm-hmm.
No. PSG, if you want him, the price is 100 million.
100%.
That's the price. 100%. An Arsenal Football Club need to step up to the mark and say, no. Sorry, go on.
We look so weak in this market, Jez. We look so weak. And it's down to Edu. He makes us look like a bunch of, may I say, pussies in the market. Because you look at Kieran Tierney, who in my opinion is going to leave, to either maybe Newcastle or Aston Villa, because apparently Unai Emery wants him. I swear to God, I wouldn't be surprised if we sell him for maybe 20 to 25 million. Because Edu can't negotiate. He gets too scared. He backs out. He doesn't know when to put more in or, oh, should I do this? But I might hurt their feelings. That's how it feels as a fan. You know, and that's what Edu's made us feel like. And in my opinion, it makes us feel like that clubs can just shove us around, do whatever. We're Arsenal Football Club. You know, we're one of the biggest clubs in the Premier League. And I feel like in the window, Jez, we just get shoved around and get toyed around with. Oh, no, we'll get a bit more money out of Arsenal because it's Arsenal, it's Edu. Let's pretend that we're friends of Edu so that we can get a bit more money out of him. You know, it's ridiculous. 70 million for Saliba? No way. No way. He's one of our most important players in the team. No way. Sorry to interrupt you there, Jez.
No, not at all, mate. You jump in, say whatever you want to say. I mean, I think they need to get me in the sport
100%.
Because I'll tell you what, it'd be a total different situation if I was there. Because I don't think Edu's got any experience in negotiating. Not one whatsoever. TJ, Saliba, this guy, I think, has been amazing this season. The performances, his contribution, sadly got injured. We know the rest of the story. Give me your rating on him, mate, for the season.
9. He was incredible for us before he got injured. And we all saw the drop-off. I heard a lot of what you guys said, so I'm not going to repeat it. But you're doing a good job when PSG come calling, and I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if you would rather go that direction. After the way we treated him. You know, that being said, we did send him out on loan. He honed his craft. He came back and was an absolute world beater. Who knows? We don't know what he would have been like playing for us the season prior, right? So. It's hard to play Monday morning quarterback on that, but the player that came back to us was absolute class. So 9, and we better hope and pray to whatever God may exist that Saliba stays.
Well, I just said to Connor, PSG are sniffing. They're sniffing around, and they've got money to burn. Mm-hmm. Now, if they're talking 70 mil. If I was talking to Saliba and saying, mate, do you want to stay? Do you want 150 grand a week? And we get talking and chatting, and he says, no, I want to go to PSG. I'll be saying, all right, fair play. We've tried. I've asked you. I've given you a price, and I've said I'll pay you. How about 175 grand a week? And he said, no, I want to go to PSG. I said, all right, PSG, £100 million.
Mm-hmm.
100 million. We're not accepting 70. I want 100 million.
Yep.
And they'll pay it.
They will pay it.
They will pay it.
They should.
Because they've got the money. If they really want somebody, they'll bloody pay it. Now, I'm fed up with this bullshit from the management. But we're gonna in a little bit as we go through, we're going to talk about the people in control of this club. And we're going to give them a rating. And we'll see how it works. Mama Flossie says, evening, folks. Evening, Mama Flossie. Thanks for joining us. And there's 60 odd people watching. Only 33 likes. That's just
shambolic.
That's cheapskate, people. Come on. We're doing this in the close season, you know. But let's move on then. Getting old, need my glasses for this. Tomiyasu. Haven't seen that much of him this year. But I last season I really liked him. Got injured again and then sort of disappeared. But would I keep him? I'm not sure. I'm really not. When he did play, he didn't look the player he was. So I'm going to have to give him this season on his performances. I'm going to give him a 4.5. Connor?
Yeah, I want to give him a 4. He's turning out to be very injury prone, Jez, and it's not good. On the basis of that, Arteta's weird with him this season because obviously he wasn't getting over Ben White unless Ben White was injured. Then he started playing him at left back because Zinchenko was out, even though we had a fully fit left back in Kieran Tierney, which I thought was a disgrace, by the way. Tomiyasu, you know, it's bad when you can't remember a memorable moment about a player. I can vaguely remember some points because he is more of an attacking fullback of him starting attacks. But, you know, I remember that in the Europa League where he made that poor pass, was it the Man City game?
Man City.
Yeah, sorry. It was the Man City game. And made that poor pass when he should have kicked it out. But then again, every defender makes their mistakes. But yeah, no, you know, he was injured, so he hasn't had many games. I am going to give him a 4, but I'm on the fence with him at the moment, Jez. I'm not too sure about him, but yeah, I'll give him a 4.
Yeah, I am. I just think, mate, he doesn't last a season, and with our low-level squad, we need somebody better. Sorry, but yeah. TJ, Tomiyasu.
4.5. His injuries are a huge problem, and I'm with Connor. I don't remember anything other than the Man City back pass that he assisted Kevin De Bruyne's first goal. And that lit a fire under KDB. By the way, you got to remember that KDB was having a rough go of it, and then Tomiyasu gave him the ball, and he's been on fire ever since. I noticed little things like that, but yeah, 4.5. He's not the levels. I'd like to sell him and see what we can get for him. Obviously, I don't think we'll get the value that we brought him in for. That's the way of the Arsenal, but here we are, 4.5. Sell him, please.
I think we'll struggle to get the fee we bought him for. Yeah. BVB Davis says Jude Bellingham sold probably for 80 to 150 mil, and that would be the transfer budget from that. As 66.5% of players' sales is going to the transfer budget, which would be out 48 to 90.7.5 million. Yep. That's an interesting stat. That is an interesting stat. But that is that club, isn't it? Let's be honest. Let's see if they do the damage. Be fair. Let's move on. Raul Waters, never seen him play. So
wow, flipping out.
Benjamin White. I think he's had a great season personally. I think he's up to levels. He's had a couple of crap moments, let's be honest. He has. But I think he's done an all right season in my book, and I will give him an 8. Connor?
Yeah. Ben White's been really solid, isn't he? You know, the season before, he's not a centre back. Never ever play him a centre back, especially in a 3 at the back. Never. He is a right back, and he is our right back, in my opinion. Can we upgrade him? Yeah, of course we can. Would I like to see an upgrade in the full backs? Yeah. But on Ben White this season, he was great. Really happy with him. And I'm going to give him a 7 point. No. I'll give him an 8 as well, Jez. He was great. Gets forward, can track back, can defend when at right back, not when he's got the pressure of attackers coming forward at him in the central line. But yeah, very solid. And gets the odd goal now and then, the odd assist. So yeah, I'll go with an 8 as well. He's had a great season.
Yeah, I'll say he's knocked a couple of goals in, so fair play to him. You can't ask much more than that. TJ, Ben White, what's your view on him this season, mate?
I've been talking with Connor too much. 8. I feel like I'm copying off his homework now. So one thing that I wanted to mention about Ben White too, is those Man City games, we would have been down by 6 if it wasn't for some of his plays in the box. He made a couple of really, really key saves early in the last Man City match that would have made it probably 6-1 in the end, as opposed to the 4 that we got. So big up to Ben White. As I've been saying, if you have fullbacks that can overlap and score like he has, it's just an added bonus. So 8, I'm really, really excited to see what he does next season.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he moves on and improves a little bit more, because he's impressed me. I won't lie. And if a player can do that, then I'll say fair play. Then continue onwards. We'll get into this one. New signing, Alexander Zinchenko, our inverted left back. My view on this one is he's put us in so much trouble, cost us a game, and I don't want to see a left back going inverted because I just don't see the point. He, in my opinion, is not a left back. We had a proven a player that's played for, I'm not going to say world class, but a player that's played for his country, won numerous trophies in Scotland, and I've had people say, "Yeah, but that's Scotland. It's Scotland. Yeah, but you still got to bloody win them. You still got to go out and do the job." And we have this fella we bought from Manchester City because Arsenal have now become the place where we take the outgoing players of Man City. Because nobody was in for Jesus, nobody was in for Zinchenko, and now we're looking at Gundogan, and nobody's in for him. This is the levels that Arsenal shop at now. We're not shopping in the levels that we used to, because we have a shit show board and a shit show idiot sporting director, if you want to call him that, in Edu. But we're going to get into that a little bit later. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 5, 6.5. He's done good, but he's also been bloody awful. Connor, Zinchenko, man.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because in terms of attack, he's made us better, in my opinion, especially going forward. But defensively, he made us worse, especially come second half of the season after the World Cup. Start of the season, he was pretty solid. Didn't really have much to say about him. He did get injured. He was off for a while. So that probably made him into a factor of it. But then after the World Cup, it all just sort of seemed to crack and teams figured out he really isn't defensive. He doesn't track back. but I'm not going to be too negative about him because going forward, he's, in my opinion, revolutionised a lot of our attack. He's a great passer. He can get the ball forward well, really get involved with the attack, and that's why he should be playing in midfield for us, Jez. But yeah, he made some errors, man, crucial to our season in a good few games, and he knew that. He took accountability of it. But I saw a video on Arsenal's YouTube channel the other day going into depth about his inverted role, and I thought, for God's sake, really? Serious? They've literally done that on the official Arsenal YouTube channel. I didn't even bother watching it. But yeah, no. He's had his moments. I'm going to always give him credit for how he's made our attack, in my opinion, better. But he can't be there at left back next season. He can't be. He's got to be in midfield. And I'm going to go with a 7. But yeah, he's actually no. Do you know what? No, I'm going to go with a 6. Actually, so I'm going to lower it just because of the moments where he has been poor defensively. But going forward, he's been good.
Fair play. TJ, Alexander Zinchenko.
I was afraid that you were going to say 6.5, Connor, and I was just going to leave the stream. I was going to be like, you know what? This guy's in my head. Yeah, I'm going 6.5. I'm going 6.5 because there's potential. There's a potential midfielder there. Yeah. Okay. He's not a left back, but there have been times when he drops into that midfield and really makes a difference. The problem you have to blame Arteta for this one, guys. Like he puts Zinchenko there. Zinchenko would probably be perfectly all right being a center mid or center defensive mid. He would be, as long as he's getting first team minutes, he probably doesn't care. It's Arteta trying to bolster the midfield at the expense of the back line. And it stretches our back line, and it stretches guys like Gabriel. It stretches guys like Saliba who have to cover when Zinchenko gets caught up midfield on the counter. We've been saying this for months. I swear, I think it's Groundhog's Day. I think I said that exact same thing on my first show with you, Jez. I mean, goodness gracious, and nothing changed. And now look where we're at. So I would say 6.5. Zinchenko can't hold all of the blame. We know what his level's at. It's just up to whether or not the brass will make the necessary changes, which, given the educational video of inverted fullbacks, that likely isn't going to happen. So 6.5, and hopefully we can utilize him a little bit better next season.
Well, I think we may have been seeing a little bit of the game plan, TJ, with us.
Yep.
Maybe Kiwior going into the left back. That'd be interesting. Or it could be good. It's going to be an absolute bloody disaster. Midfielder from Romania, Kurjan. I've never heard of him, never seen him. Yeah. The next one, Mario Crozier-Dubry. Never seen.
People were calling in. Top Gooners were calling for him to be in the starting 11 against Wolves in the CS.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
he's really good. He's really good in my FIFA career mode. About 5 seasons on.
No one's heard of him, Jez.
Last. Mohamed El Neni. Now, this is an interesting one. He got injured, and we gave him another contract. Interesting. Now, I don't actually dislike El Neni because one thing I will say to this fella is when he comes in and he has to slot in during injury to cover some other players, he does put a shift in. He's not the best button. Yeah. He's not the brightest button on the pitch, but he does a job. Yeah. So I'm not going to disrespect him. Unfortunately, I just don't understand the mentality of this Arsenal board giving him a new contract when he's on a long-term injury. I just don't understand this. It's like, oh well, sorry mate, you're injured. Oh well, we'll give you another year, and we see how we get on. I mean, come on, people, this is professional bloody football. Jesus Christ. But I'll give him a 4.5 this season. Connor?
Well, how many games he played this season? What, 5? So, yes, yeah, I don't have a problem with El Neni. Like, he's sort of just like squad filler, in my opinion. Yeah, nothing special. Short and sweet. I'm going to give him a 3 just because he's barely been here this season. Don't even know why we go. I think we're just giving extensions out for fun at this point, Jez. Honestly, do you fancy an extension? Why not? Here you go. Do you fancy an extension? Here you go. Do you want one? Do you want it seems like we're doing it for fun at this point. Nothing against El Neni. Barely was here this season. Going to give him 2.5. He just because on the basis he wasn't here, literally. So yeah.
I think for a cup of tea, I think it seems to be the Arsenal thing of, well, we can hold on to him, and it's not going to cost us too much. We'll hold on to him, and we go again. I mean, I'm sorry, if this club's got ambition, you have to get rid of the dead wood, and we don't do that relentlessly. We have got rid of some of the dead wood that had died. Let's get it right. Ozil, he was dead. Getting 350 grand a week, an absolute pile of shit. Let's be honest. It is, yeah. I mean, this is a comment. Carl says sentiment killing this club. It is. It's pathetic, man. TJ, El Neni, what would you do? Give me your rating, and what would you do with him?
Spot on, Carl Rossi. By the way, absolute legend, Carl Rossi. Mo El Neni. I mean, standard 5, just because, you can't necessarily blame him for being injured, right? Injuries happen. I'd say standard 5. He's too slow. He doesn't really create much in the midfield. So is he the levels for us moving forward? No, we need to ship him out. I don't know. I don't see that realistically happening. But I would like to see him go to a mid-table to lower table Prem team and see if he has anything left, if he's not retiring like some rumors going around have him doing. So yeah, I would say standard 5, get him out. I don't really blame him. I mean, I don't really have any ill will towards him, but yeah, it's time to go.
Yeah, I agree. He won't. Nobody will be in for him, and we'll literally give him away for nothing. I mean, let's be honest, he's not worth a lot.
Yeah, true.
Hatred the Glazer says it's cheap with Jez for our clubs to put people like Degay and Shaw and El Neni to new contracts instead of upgrading. Yeah. Exactly. That's my exact point I was making. Yeah. That is because the fan base will still be happy. It means that basically we don't have to invest that much to keep the squad at a certain level. Well, I think we've proven the shortness in our squad has cost us. It's cost us in the FA Cup, the carrier bag. It's cost us in the Europa League, and it's cost us in the Premier League. So I think investment is very important. And Ben says El Neni should have been gone the very year Wenger left the club. I tend to agree with you. He's one of only 3, probably only 2 soon if Xhaka goes. That'll be, well, we'll wait and see on that one. We'll wait and see. Rumours are around it might be another season. Okay, well, yeah, all the love fest for him. Last game of the season, banners out. Oh, well, we love you. This, that, and the other. You weren't loving him when he told you to fuck off at Crystal Palace, were you? You know what I mean? When he stuck his fingers up, threw the captain's armband down, and told you not to do one. You weren't loving him then. So what's changed? Really? This is what makes me laugh about some of these wet wipes in this fan base now. Celebrating. Wolves 5-0. Celebrating like we won the league. Really? Yeah. Back in time, they'd have been booed off the pitch for that. But we move on. So Fabio Vieira, the 14-year-old that basically I'm bigger than him. I don't have his skill in football quite clearly, but that's because I'm a 62 now. But I'm physically bigger than him. This guy, I'm sorry, and yeah, I don't watch a certain big Arsenal channel, but they're saying keep him. Gave him a 7. 7. 7.
What's he done?
What? I mean, I'd love to know what game these people are watching at times, because they're not watching the same game as me. That guy gets bounced off the ball way too easy. He might have been decent in, his own league in Portugal, but I'm sorry, this is the Premier League. It's fast, it's physical. No, I'm sorry, not for me, mate. 4. Connor, give me your breakdown of him, man.
Yeah, one good goal against Brentford. Apart from that, no. He's got to be either loaned out with a bulking program or sold. I'm sorry, it's 35 million. Where the hell does that? That is Edu's bad negotiating once again. 35 mil. What for? I'm sorry, mate. You're on the bench at Porto. You weren't even playing. Like, come on, what's going on here? This kid can't get out. And that's why, Jez, I don't trust this window this summer. I think we're going to do the exact same thing, Jez. We are. We're linked with this French guy for Galatasaray, this right back. No one heard of him until a couple of days ago. But now, because he's French and because he's young, he's great. No one's seen him play, Jez. And this is exactly the same with Fabio Vieira. Where the hell are you getting 7s from? What's he done? What, apart from a good goal against Brentford, won't take that away from him. That was a fantastic goal against Brentford. What else has he done? Nothing. So I'm sorry, Fabio, you've got to be loaned out next season. I'm going to give you a 4.5 just for being on the bench, because that's what you've been all season, unfortunately, my friend. And in the games where you have started, you've barely been there. And
Exactly.
It's fact.
Exactly. I mean, I just, mate, honestly, it beggars belief to me at times, really, how this happens at this football club, this great football club, and yet we do this. But we do. Miguel, nice to see you, mate. I haven't seen you on the show before. Good to see you. Seeing you from Ibiza in Spain. It's good to see you guys. I'm just going to say quickly, cheap shot. I'm nearly on the way to 4K. Anybody new, please smash the likes and subscribe. A lot more content coming in the summer, and there's a lot of people out here right now doing some fantastic shows. So if you see them live, go and sub, go and like. It's great to see so many different Arsenal news shows out there, putting the real content out, not fake bullshit that certain channels do because they're sponsored and all that absolute bullshit. TJ, Fabio Vieira, who knew?
Yeah. So shameless plug. Subscribe to Jez and me, TJ Warren TV. We only put out the realest content. Yeah, and the American Idiot show this week is going to be scenes, so just get ready. Just a quick diversion. Connor, they want us to do a Q&A. So yeah.
Right, okay.
Oh yeah, I voted for that.
You're gonna be well, Jez, you voted for it and you're gonna be a part of it. So all right. So yeah, 9 p.m. UK, TJ Warren TV, sub now, please. All right, thanks for letting me shamelessly plug. Next, Fabio Vieira. I have not liked this guy since he came into the club. Period. End of story. He got that significant goal against Brentford that we ended up winning that game like 3-0, so it really wasn't as significant. And then he got one other goal, I believe, in the group stages of the Europa League. Now, can somebody else tell me when he has contributed positively? I'll wait. Yeah. Okay. So nobody has that kind of time.
I've just gone through his stats, and he got 2 assists against Oxford United in the FA Cup.
Oh, good. Oh, that's good. That's great.
That's probably the most memorable moment, and a goal and assist against Bodo Glimt.
Yeah,
So
I can get 2 assists. I can get 2 assists against Oxford United.
Not City, not Liverpool. These are the teams.
Yeah. Yeah, I could get 2 assists against Oxford United. Anyway, so League One, side to side. I'm giving him a 3. He needs to be loaned out to Gold's Gym if we keep him. If not, sell him at a loss, because this is not the levels of center mid that we need at this club. Did we sign him as a creative midfielder? What did he create?
Nothing.
What did he create? Nothing. Especially when we're depending on him to come on, later in the game to actually create something, and he doesn't do anything. He creates headaches for me and the rest of the Arsenal supporters that are forced to watch this garbage. So yeah, 3, loan him out to a championship side that'll actually toughen him up, or sell him.
Fact.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I personally,
Gunnar, I don't care about assists. Gunnar Gathering, I love you. I don't care about assists. Next. Sorry, Jess.
I'd send him out alone for a year, and then have a reevaluation. But all the times, guys, we keep putting these players out on loan, it weakens our squad depth. And so if we're going to do that, we need to invest, because we've got a guy here, Bradley Ibrahim. Never heard of him. Don't know who he is. And let's move in. Let's move in on this one. Jorginho, another Chelsea retiree. Didn't impress me, really. Did Arteta want him? Probably not. But we are the retirement home now for Chelsea and Man City. So we take him. Didn't really do it for me at all. I'm sorry, 5. Connor?
Yeah, Jorginho, I think 2 seasons too late. I think Arteta wanted him like 2 seasons ago when he got the job. But Edu couldn't produce then. But now, because he's older and he's worthless, that's when Edu can get him. See how it works, Jez? We were meant to get Caicedo in January, Jez, but we got the next best thing, because that's what Edu does. He can't get the main one, but he can get the next best thing, apparently. And that's no disrespect to Jorginho, Champions League winner, European in the Euros, won it with Italy. In my opinion, I love the goal against Aston Villa. I'll happily keep him for next season, especially for Champions League. In my opinion, he is the sort of squad depth I want in terms of backups. I think he's all right. He holds his own. But I'd have rather had Caicedo if I had the choice, because that's who we had. That's who we were going to go for. But because Edu couldn't seem to, well, maybe it's down to the Cronkies, but we always can't seem to. We always add on 2.5, 3, 3.25. We can never add on 10, 15 million. It always has to be there. And that's what said to Brighton, do one. We had to go ahead and get Jorginho. He came in, done all right. Had a couple games where he was a bit off. But in my opinion, the most part, he was practically solid. But again, not what we wanted in January. He was our second choice. I'm going to give him a 5.5, in my opinion. And he will stay next season. Yeah. We'll just see where he goes. On that note, Jez, I do have to hop off, unfortunately. My dinner is waiting for me in the kitchen. But thank you very much for having me on. And TJ, we'll speak to you later, by the way, mate. I'll give you
absolutely. Yeah, just shoot me a message when you're ready.
Yeah, of course. And thank you very much, Jez, for having me on. And chat, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Pleasure, man. Always welcome, Connie. You know that.
And yeah, and I'll be back soon. Definitely, I'll be back soon. But cheers, everyone in chat, and TJ and Jez, and I'll see you guys later. Yeah.
Get better soon, bro. Get better soon.
Thank you, everyone. Take care. Cheers. Cheers, bye.
TJ, I want to rattle through this.
Okay.
We've got give me your brief breakdown on Jorginho, and then we're going to move into two players, and then we're going to go into the management.
Okay. Yeah. Quick on Jorginho. Standard 5. He'll be a good bench player for next season. Hopefully, we brought him in for experience, right, Jez? So we saw a little bit about that. He is a little bit of a cheerleader / coach on the touchline. You do see him out there yelling at guys, which I like to see personally, especially from a guy who has won the Champions League, has shown that he has what it takes. Obviously, that was a few years ago. Standard 5. He had some good moments and he had some bad moments. Again, we'll see what he does next season.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'll go with that. Martin Ødegaard, our club captain. To me, fades in, fades out, doesn't turn up for the big games enough, in my opinion. To me, doesn't have the demeanour of being a club captain. A club captain, to me, you have to be in people's faces, giving it to them, saying, you're not doing your job. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Sorry, mate, 6. You just haven't done the job. TJ, tell me.
7.5. I get really angry when he doesn't show up, but when he does show up, he's brilliant. He was, I think, the top point getter in the team this season, so you can't doubt his production. The problem is where he produced, Jez. He doesn't really produce in the key moments, which I always get on him about. And so do all the other real YouTube content creators. I can count like what games did he really contribute in the Tottenham game and United. So yeah, other than that, he was scoring against mid-table to relegation fodder, as we all have seen. So 7.5. I want to see more leadership out of him. If he truly is going to lead by example, then set the example. Obviously, I want to keep him. He is as painful as it is sometimes for us to admit, he is a core player in this squad. So unless we go out and buy somebody who is better, which it doesn't look like is going to happen, he is going to be here for a while. So
fact. Yeah, I totally agree. I don't dislike the guy. I just think he needs to be a little bit. He needs to man up a little bit, in my book.
Agreed.
He needs to grow a pair. But okay, we'll go with it.
Agreed.
Thomas Partey. I think he's been quality. Got injured again, which concerns me. But I'm going to give him an 8 because I think he's been when he has been there, he's been absolutely solid. He's turned games and shown his strength and command, calmness. But again, got injured, mate.
Mm-hmm. Man, Ben, you are tough. He's giving Partey a 5. Ben, tell me why you're giving Partey a 5. That's harsh. Yeah, Ben, what? The Kim Jong-un freaking Arteta. That's funny. Okay, look, I think Partey was up until the last, quarter of the season, he was probably our most valuable player. There were a lot of conversations going around saying, okay, who's the best CDM in the league, Partey or Casemiro? There was a legitimate argument around, who was the most valuable to their team. And I would have said it would have been Partey. Without Partey, there was a marked lack of quality in our midfield. So I'm going to give him an 8 because when he wasn't injured, for the most part, he was very, very good. Where I would discount him a little bit is he dropped off at the end of the season a little bit, and maybe that was due to him being injured. Just maybe he picked up a slight knock that got his game down, but yeah, I think some people in the chat are being a little harsh. But again, without Partey, we don't finish second. We aren't even in a title race. So
No, I tend to agree with that. I'm just going to change the screen. So we've gone through pretty much the team. Bukayo Saka. Absolute class in my book. Dropped off, in my opinion, in the last 8, maybe 9 games. But
agreed. Yeah.
Maybe I don't. Apparently, he was carrying an injury. How true that is, I don't know. But Saka, for me, definitely my player of the season. Contributed in damn near every game. I'll give him an absolute outright 9.5.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I'm gonna give him a 9. I think he was absolutely class. When he was on, he was on. He is going to be a legend at this club. Of course, you need to win silverware if you are going to be a legend at this club. Obviously, he was a part of that FA Cup team. But we're talking big silverware now. The team is on his shoulders, and I think you saw a little bit of the pressure of that get to him towards the end of the season, whether it was a knock or whether it was just him hanging on to the ball just a little bit too long. And I know you noticed that, Jez. Towards the end of the season, he wasn't releasing once we got into the final third when he had an opportunity to do so. So again, 9. He's our star boy. He is my favorite Arsenal player, and probably will be for the foreseeable future. I think he is in a draw for my player of the season, though, with another winger. So we'll get to that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Let's look at another one in Emil Smith-Rowe. I like him. Just didn't see enough of him. Injury. Do we keep him? Do we let him go, man? What do we do?
Keep him. Please keep him. I think there's a player there. I really do. But here's the thing though, Jez, is if you're not going to keep him, sell him now. Because now we can get a little bit of value out of him while he's still young. He's been plagued by injuries this season. I don't know why he didn't get a sniff. I really, really want to see him play more. I can't rate him, unfortunately, because he really didn't get a sniff this season. I got to give him a standard 5 just because he really wasn't given the chance, right? So I really hope that he gets a chance next season and we can see what player is there. But, again, Arteta just did not give him a chance. So
no, I'm going to give him a 4. I think that, I still think there's a player in there. And I'd like to see him more of a chance. But we don't know. Arteta regime, who knows? David says, David Dundas down there in deepest New Zealand. It's -2.
Jeez.
Mate, it's winter time. And I can tell you here in the UK, it's been a balmy 25 today. So, it's lovely. Nice to see a bit of summer weather at last. And so let's move into Granit Xhaka. My favourite player. No. I have now. Let's put it fair. I have given this guy the ultimate respect this season because I think he's stepped up to the mark in the fact he's been playing in that attacking midfielder role, and he's been, in my book, excellent. And I've given him some big scores, big ratings. Am I sad to see him leave? No. I'm not. And the reason is I have a memory in the way he disrespected the fan base, but more importantly, he disrespected the club badge and the club. And I don't forgive players for ever doing that. And yet people have said, well, Guendouzi did it at Brighton. No, he didn't. He didn't disrespect the club. He didn't disrespect the badge. He didn't disrespect the fans. All he did was stand up and have a punch up. Well, a slap at about. That's totally different.
Yeah.
That is totally different. So Granit Xhaka, thank you for your service. I've never really rated you apart from this season, but you've done a great job. But you can go. So thank you this season. You get a 7 from me because you have done a job. But no, I don't have time for people like you at this football club. So bye-bye.
7.5 for me. And I will just echo everything that you just said, Jess. 7.5. And I really don't think there's anything else that needs to be said. Thanks for the one good season.
Yeah. One good season in 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you know, that really is a bit like not good, really, isn't it?
Nope.
And as Hendon Guinness says, Xhaka 8 7 years too late. Bit like when we had Van Persie. Looked after him, injured. Looked after him, one great season, and then left for Man United. Thanks for that. See you later.
Yeah.
Right. This will be interesting. Gabriel Jesus. I'll give him a 7. Didn't score enough goals, but I'll give him a 7. TJ?
I'm trying to think. 7.5. I was disappointed by the lack of output. I think a lot of Arsenal fans, you know, we saw Man City, Gabriel Jesus, you know, he's really, really good in a Pep team, but playing center forward, not really getting any chances on the left, where he did a lot of damage for Man City. I think hurt his stats a little bit. He's a very, very good link up center forward. I really want to see him continue to develop in that role. Do I think we need an all and out striker? Yes, but I think we can still utilize Gabriel Jesus next season. He's one of my favorite players. I'm not going to lie. He's one of my favorite players. I really enjoy the football that he plays when he gets a chance to play it and he's not injured. But yeah, 7.5, a little underwhelmed in terms of production, but you know what? He is a leader on this team, and I'd like to see what he can do next season.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I mean, he's not a 20 golden man.
No, he's not. He's not.
Sadly.
Nope.
All right, Gabriel Martinelli. I love this fella. I think this guy is going to be absolute class. I really do. And I'm going to give his contribution this year. I'm going to give him an 8 because I think he's got in there. He scored some quality goals. Personally, I think he's played in the wrong position. Personally.
Mm-hmm.
To me, he's a bit like when Thierry Henry first came in, played out on the left. Arsene Wenger then moved him into the centre. And, well, I don't have to talk about the rest, do I?
Nope.
And I think that's where Martinelli should be. I'll give him...
That's a shout.
I'll give him 7.5.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going 9. He's my co-player of the season. I think the impact... So he did drop off at some points of the season, but I think you can attribute that to some of the chemistry items that were going on in the team at the time. When Tierney was feeding him on the overlap there, he was scoring left and right. He could really score. He could score some goals. That's for sure. Martinelli is probably my second favorite player on the team. I have his shirt. I'm a Martinelli shirt merchant. I think he is going to be a legend at this club as well if we win trophies, right? The impact that he has, you know, right out of the gate. If we're going to score first, then we're going to score in the first 10 minutes. It's Gabriel Martinelli every single time, and it's fantastic. Goals against Newcastle, the goal against Liverpool, right out of the gate, both games, by the way. I just think he's such an impact player. He is the future. He is part of the future of this club. I give him a 9. I love this kid.
Totally agree. Reiss Nelson. What can we say about Reiss Nelson? Came on, scored that fabulous goal, the Bournemouth game. But didn't see enough of him.
Yeah.
See enough of him. I like him. I think he's class. And I'll give him a 6.
I'll give him a 6 too. I think when he came on, he was an impact, but not too much of an impact to where we should be signing him for 4 more years. I don't think he's necessarily earned a long-term contract. And I said that after he scored the worldie against Bournemouth too. Before Bournemouth, he had scored twice against Nottingham Forest. And then he dropped back into the bench, never to be seen again until Saka came off early with that injury.
Yeah.
So I don't think that he's necessarily the player that all the top Gooners are bigging him up to be. I'd like to see him be a little bit more consistent. So 6.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Anthony says Nelson didn't play enough games, but a 6 is fair.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement on that one.
Yeah. Gooner Gathering says Nelson made some great cameos. 6. Fair. Okay. Let's get into this. Eddie Nketiah. Absolute waste of space. Not good enough for Arsenal. 5 goals all season. And I think he was given a £100,000 a week contract at the end of last season. To me, that was a desperation. And what has he delivered? 5 goals and then got benched because I think Arteta's realised he's just not the levels of Arsenal. And this is my concern, TJ. Suddenly go in at the end of the season and say, "Oh, Eddie, here's the shirt. Here's $100,000 a week, and you don't deliver shit."
It's true.
That to me is where Arsenal are at right now. And sorry, mate, Eddie Nketiah, it's not personal. You need to go. You are not good enough for Arsenal. And you've proven it. You've come on in the latter part of the season as a substitute and done nothing. Nothing. Leave. Please leave and go to a club that will be at your level, which I'm sorry will be in the Championship because you ain't Premiership level. And I'm going to have to give you this season 4.5. TJ?
5, just because of the 2 goals against Man United.
Okay, fair enough.
That's it. You said it all, Jess. Send him to Leeds United. They're in the Championship. He tends to do well there.
But he couldn't get in the team at Leeds United.
Yeah.
On loan.
Maybe now they'll take him. I don't know. Yeah, Anthony says Eddie to Tottenham. That's funny. He'll probably he's better than some of the youth they have over at Tottenham, to be fair. But yeah, Eddie gets a 5 just because of what he did at United. Thanks for your service. Thanks, but no thanks. It's time to sell. Get what we can out of him and get that $100K a week off the books. He's not worth it.
And give it to Saliba. Give it to Saliba.
Yeah. Dude, I'm not an accountant, Jez. I don't pretend to be, but $100K is a lot for 4 goals in the league.
Yeah, it's poor. Shit show, let's be honest.
Yep.
Okay, before we get into the management, Leandro Trossard came in. Great signing. Like him, love him. I think he's done well. New club, joined us in January, and I'll give him a 7 all day.
7.5. Awesome player. Signing of the season, in my opinion. Incredible player. Was that spark we needed to get the job done against United in the final minutes when when he first came on against United and he was handling the box in the phone booth, handling the ball in a box in the phone booth, killing time, doing the absolute work. I'm like, okay, we have a player here, and he will die for the badge too. He's another guy who's extremely loyal to whatever team he's on. For the most part, if he likes your team anyway. Let's be honest. He crashed out of Brighton, so that kind of fell into our laps. Can't really even give Eddie credit for that, but yeah, Trossard, I give him an 8. I'm a huge Trossard fan. I think if we put him in at some key situations where he wasn't put in, I think we might have been a little bit closer to Man City than we finished. So yeah 8.
Yeah. Okay. Now we move in. Mikel Arteta, our manager. Okay. Overall score. Top of the league, 248 days. Beating everyone. Looking good. First loss, Man United away. Terrible tactics, terrible substitutions. Way too late in the game. Lost to Everton. Drew at Southampton.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a team that got relegated, by the way. And at the end of the day, cocked it all up. Now, I praised this fella. I praised him from the first 3 games of the season. And you know what I think of him. I don't want him at Arsenal, but I supported him. I gave him everything, my support. But he threw away the Carrier Bag Cup. He threw away the FA Cup, which is synonymous with Arsenal Football Club. We've won it more times than any other team in English history. We've been in more semi-finals and more cup finals than any other team in England. But no, 2 seasons on the bounce. Throw it away. Yeah, everybody out there. Oh, but he won the FA Cup. Well, did he? It wasn't his team. And get it right. Let's put the facts on the table. He fluked it against Sheffield United, 2 goals disallowed. Fluked it against Man City, and he fluked it against Chelsea when at the time Chelsea's best player had to go off with a hamstring injury. And Aubameyang won the day. Right. Let's not get into that anymore. This guy has spent over £500 million, built his team, right? Yet begs players to stay that shouldn't be at the club. And has failed, in my book. He has absolutely capitulated and failed. And to my mind, if this football club had any levels of ambition, he would have been sacked on the final day of the season. So Mikel Arteta, I will give you a 7 because you did very well. You did well, but you cocked it all up. And therefore, how you are still at this club, I have no idea. And God help us next year.
Right. Yeah.
So, TJ, your view.
Jez, I just got to say, I was expecting a lot lower of a rating from you. So I think that rating was holistic and it took a lot of things into context. I agree with you. I'm going to go 7. I had a certain expectation at the beginning of the season, and I think Arteta squeezed a lot of what he could out of the squad to get us in a position to at least be in the race. It was very, very apparent where our priorities lied. We did not care about domestic competitions. We didn't care about our European competitions. We cared about the league. So in the context of the league, yes, we bottled it, but he still did some good things. We are still playing in Europe. Am I Arteta out if a better option comes along? Absolutely. But right now I do not see any better options, especially for where we are at with this squad and where we're at in terms of a sporting director. I hope we get to talk about Edu. But yeah, I'm going with you, Jess. I'm going to 7. Massive disappointment. And yeah, 7.
I'm only going 7 because I'm taking into account of what he did achieve.
I'm with you.
We're
getting roasted in the chat.
Well, you know my view.
Yep, I agree.
He is an arrogant prick, and I can't stand the guy. It's not personal. It is not personal. I don't know him, never met him, don't want to know him, don't want to meet him. But at the end of the day, he's unfortunately been brought into this job, and it's out of his depth. It's out of his depth.
Yeah. Can I respond to Darren's chat? TJ, you're not Arteta out. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, I'm not on that train yet. I want to see what he can do. I'm giving him 10 games next season before I hop on any trains. I want to see where we're going to be at next season. So if that's contradictory to some of our friends, that's fine. I have my own opinions and I'll back them up. It is what it is.
Yeah,
sorry, Jess.
I think. Look, this is how I'm going to predict it. Right, we're going to go in with no proper signings. Okay, we're going to go into the same old shit show with Edu, Arteta, all that. We're now in the big boy league, Champions League, and we'll sign a few players, but they won't be the ones we want, and we'll try and boss it and try and achieve.
Mm-hmm.
But once we're kicked out, maybe in the qualifying round of the Champions League, that's when he will be sacked. That's when the fan base will turn.
I tend to agree with you.
The fan base have been saying, let's just put it out there. The ambition this season was to get top 4 Champions League. Nobody expected us to win the league because a lot of this fan base will accept mediocrity. So when Arteta doesn't get to the Champions League final, then he must be sacked. He must be sacked because he's in their opinion, he's failed. So if the majority of the fan base online and at the ground that support this best looking Spaniard we've ever had in the world, dear God, if he doesn't achieve it, then sack him. Sack him.
I agree.
So there you go. We'll move into this fella here, Carlos Cuesta, assistant manager. No idea. Never heard of him.
Man, he's 1995. Is that what he says? Man, he's a young buck too. Yeah. He's on the coaching staff. Wow.
Miguel Molina, 1993. So he's what? 30. Steve Round. I actually know. I know of him. Steve Round. Airport Albert, Netherlands. Right. Did well. He did well when Mikel had COVID, didn't he? He
did.
Now I want to get into this guy. I'm not going to rate these people because I don't know. This fella here, Iguala Cala, God knows I've butchered his name. Goalkeeping coach. Who the fucking hell is he? Who is he? We used to have class goalkeeping coaches. We had once the great Bob Wilson, David Seaman. I don't even have a clue who this guy is. Really? This is our backroom staff. I mean, this scares me. athletic coach, Barry Solon, Sam Wilson. Now, I think we could put a lot of blame on these two guys for the injuries we get on the training ground.
Agreed.
Because obviously they're just not up to the job. Technique coach, Nicolas Jova, France. Were any of these people actually ex-players? Were they actually in the game? Because I've no idea. I'm not that much of a technical person in this sort of shit. Game analyst Kevin Balvers, is that? Balvers?
Yeah,
Netherlands.
Balvers. Yeah.
Netherlands. Why the hell haven't we got a game analyst who's English? I don't get it. I think there are so many problems in the background of this club that I've been touching on now for 2 bloody years. Nobody listens because to a lot of the fan base, it don't matter. It's shocking, TJ, and I think until this, I'm going to say this, until this club has a massive, huge makeover, we are in trouble because. And I'm going to blame this on the likes of the board. I'm going to blame it on the Cronkies. The Cronkies don't know. They don't care. The board aren't interested. They're not active. And the fact remains, TJ, is this is where we're going to be at.
Yeah, I mean,
Cool.
just to kind of throw in my 2 cents about the backroom staff and the board. I mean, a lot of people were Cronky out, KSE out, until we started winning. And then there were a lot of people defending them. I have never defended the Cronkies, ever. Will I ever defend the Cronkies? No, because I know who they are as people and the damage they have done to certain sports franchises over here. They are only capable of really winning and sustained winning in American franchises. And they put their fans through hell before they do it. So all the same people that were KSE out a year and a half ago are now praising him. And I will never praise Stan Kroenke. I will never praise Josh Kroenke. Period. End of story. The trail of destruction that these two individuals and their family has reaped throughout sports franchises in the United States and now in England is apparent. So So all these people that are giving the Cronkies a pass, who do you think puts these guys in charge? Who do you think puts Edu in charge? Who do you think is going to keep Mikel Arteta in charge? Guys, these guys are going nowhere. So you better strap in, because we were Kroenke out until about a year ago.
I still am.
And what happened? We started winning. Yeah, you are, Jez, but a lot of people out there, top gooners, and more than 50% of this fan base, I would be willing to say they don't care about the Cronkies, whether they stay or whether they leave. I would be willing to bet that. So that being said, as soon as that changes, then we can have a conversation. But until then, you're going to have the likes of Edu Gaspar, which, by the way, Edu, I would give him a 2 if we're rating him. A 2.
That high.
He is the problem. Yeah, he is the problem. Yeah, the only reason there's a 2 is because of Leo Trossard and Jesus. The rest, nah. So thanks for letting me to kind of have the floor there a minute, Jez. It's just frustrating to me where I see a lot of hypocrisy. I see a lot of hypocrisy in this fan base where, if we're 3 straight losses in the league, then the banners come out. But as soon as we start winning, people start staying home and watching the game, or they start going to the Emirates. So how serious are we? How serious are we?
The thing is, TJ, we're about to. There's teams doing business. Liverpool have pretty much signed the guy from Brighton. I forgot his name.
McAllister. He's a baller too. I think he's going to do really well there. Too.
Edu is on holiday.
Yep.
Why the fuck is he on holiday? He could have gone on holiday in February. He could have gone on a nice holiday during the World Cup. He could have gone on holiday in March and watched what's going on from his wherever his villa. God knows where else he wants to be. The January, at the end of the day, the window isn't open yet, but teams are doing business.
Yep.
I don't believe all this bullshit. Oh, Casado's agreed terms with Arsenal. Brighton won 100 million. No way Arsenal are going to pay 100 million. They're not going to pay 100 million for Casado, and they're not going to pay 100 million for Declan Rice. So let's just throw all that in the bloody bin.
Agreed.
It's not going to happen. Yet people gas it up, and there's all this, supposed, oh, well, he's agreed with this, he's agreed with that. Bullshit. Until I ever see that player at London Colney having a medical and then with an Arsenal shirt on, having his photo, I don't believe any of it. It's all bullshit from Arsenal PR. And I'm fed up with it because people fall down and are praying at Edu's feet.
Yep. Agreed. Preach.
Hold off. I'm pissed off of it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know any one of those backroom staff. Apart from Airport Albert. I don't know any of them. Never heard of them. Are they world class? No. Are they players that we would know? No. It's absolute bloody jokes. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wind this up because I'm getting angry now. TJ, mate, thank you for coming on. Shout your channel
Always
out.
A pleasure.
Friends. Tell me what's coming up.
Always a pleasure, Jess. Thank you so much for coming on, or for letting me come on and chat some shit for 97 minutes we've been going. It's always a pleasure to be on here and chop it up with you, and obviously my guy Connor and the chat, elite chat as usual. Guys, I am 8 subs off of 300. So if you guys are, it's the first time seeing this space, go over to TJ Warren TV, smash your sub, hit the notification bell. We are going live with a Q&A apparently for the 14th episode of the American Idiot Show. Jez will be there. Connor will be there. And I think I'm going to get one more person on. And I'm hitting for the fences on this one, so I don't think it'll be an Arsenal supporter. So we'll go ahead and just get it ready. TJ Warren TV, BVB David. Yeah, man. So it'll be absolute scenes. 9 p.m. UK time Friday. I'm not streaming before then. I might go on a couple of shows before then, but I am not streaming before Friday. We're cutting down the shows until the season starts in a few months, and then we're going to go harder than ever. So again, thank you, Jez, for having me on, and we will see you on Friday, my friend.
Mate, looking forward to it. I actually voted for the Q&A. Shot myself in the foot there. Just to reiterate, once what TJ said, once the window opens, I'll be putting stuff out. I'm not a big one for transfer stuff because I don't like the bullshit, because you put it all out, then it all falls apart and it's rubbish. I will be doing some history stuff. I haven't done any for months and months, and I will be doing it. And there is the Arsenal quiz coming up, which DJ says he wants to join in. I've just got to link it up between Kenny Ken, Kyle, and TJ, and another one. I want 4 people on that. I've done it. It's typed up. It's ready to go. I've just got to sync it when everybody's around, because obviously people work and stuff like that. So I'll be putting the feelers out to Kenny Kent, Kyle, TJ, and AN other, and that'll be a good fun night. That'll probably be a hour and a half, 2 hour show, and you can come and join in the chat. And if anybody in the chat wants to come and join in, because that is always a fun show.
Those are some of the most fun shows, even as just participating in the chat. It's absolutely insane. It's hilarious. You don't have to be an Arsenal fan. You don't have to be like there to like think you're going to win it, because it's all fun. It is, nobody takes the piss, and it is good laugh. It's good fun. And I will be doing that soon. So we're going to call it a day. Everybody, thank you in the chat. Thanks for the likes. Anybody new, please smash the subs. I'm nearly on the way to 4K. And take care, everyone. Have a great evening. I'm going to do the outro. TJ, mate, and Connor, thank you both for coming on. And we are out of here.
I'm relieved to hear that you've been to some fireplaces. It's hard to carry on when you feel all alone. Now I've swung back down again. It's worse than it was before. If I had seen such riches, I could live